Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, our dear audience, to Muhammad the Leader, alayhi salatu wassalam. I'm still joined by Dr. Mamdouh, the former professor at Johns Hopkins University. Dr. Mamdouh, welcome.
Welcome.
All right, so our dear audience, today our topic is about cultivating family relationships. I'm sure that this is a really important topic for myself and Dr. Mamdouh and all people watching us at homes. We are all part of families. And we are all responsible. We are all striving for a better life. We are all in need to learn about Prophet Muhammad's history and life. And as I have said, and I'd like to remind you again, we are here today to know more about our life and how to make it much more easier than before. And the more we learn about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ history and his interactions and his comments and his wisdom, the more we become better people ourselves. Dr. Mamdouh, as we speak about cultivating family relationships, what comes across your mind? I mean, what really comes to your mind when we talk about this?
Comes to my mind Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and the way he dealt with his wives, and he spelled it out very openly. He said, "Khayrukum," the best amongst you is the best to his family members. And I am the best.
Right.
There are many facts in this statement and many great things that we can learn from. First, he said that who is the best amongst you? He's defining who is the best. Everybody says that I am the best. He said, no. The best amongst you is the one who is considered the best for his family. If your wife speaks about you positively, always making good remarks about you and making, saying the truth about you, and everything is positive, that means you are the best. And then the Prophet ﷺ said that I am the best amongst you. No one is better than Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Not only, by the way, not only because of his good and strong relationship with his family members, but also in every aspect in life, nobody is better than Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Had there been anybody who is better than Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Allah would have selected him to be the final messenger. No one on the earth is better than Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as the Quran mentioned this. But here the stress is on the family. All of us know that the family is the first or the smallest cell in the huge community. This is the smallest cell, not as individual. Now there are some people,
and each cell has a leader.
And each cell has a leader, and it has few people in it. And this is the most difficult thing, because there is a friction, there is an interaction, there is an exchange of viewpoints, and two different people are living with each other with some children, and each one of them wants to be independent and wants to express his viewpoints. Yet sometimes there are viewpoints that are different, and this is something very important. On weddings, we remember, all of us, when we say that I married you according to the Islamic traditions, according to the Quran and the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So there are some terms, general terms among the Muslims, that they are the terms. You have to abide by them.
Right.
The problem arises usually whenever any of the two spouses don't follow the Islamic traditions.
Right.
And they want to have impact on the other spouse. The Prophet ﷺ, as the best representative of this great religion of Islam, of course he never violates any of these. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself told him in some sort of threat or blame to him, وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَكَ. If you don't do that, So he did not convey the message well.
So, during the time of da'wah and his interactions, I mean, Prophet Muhammad's life for us is perceived very hard and very difficult and very challenging. However, though that was happening, he still kept up the relation with his wives and kids.
Yeah.
He was never down with them. He never came to a point where he couldn't make his part as a leader and has an effective role in their life.
Yeah, no doubt. As we said, that the way he balanced the duties, it was very extremely good to the degree that he never lost or affected his relationship with his spouses. And the wisdom, the way the Prophet ﷺ, even in the most critical time, when people started slandering his wife, Aisha radiallahu anha. These are some very good examples from the life of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ for all of us to know what exactly to do when something like this happens in your personal life. And this shows the ability of a leader, how to solve these problems. Then the way the Prophet ﷺ solved it is the wisdom and patience. He was patient, and he was waiting, and he knew that his wife, Aisha radiallahu anha, was innocent and never did or thought of something like the people accused her.
Said, yes.
Yeah, she was.
This is a really good example, because I think if I take a current example of any person who is married and then imagine that some people outside talking about his wife and saying, I think it takes someone who's very strong to act like Prophet Muhammad.
And it takes someone to build strong relationship with his family members as early as possible from day one, from the wedding day. Because this helps him to know her personality and to be very sure of what she is doing. And the same thing happens when she knows her husband very well. So this builds a strong trust that leads to a strong relationship that will never be broken by the accusations of the people to any one of them. I think the Prophet ﷺ's behavior in this time, at that time, was a model for all of us. To be patient, to wait and to wait and to wait, and at the same time to consult with the closest people who love you. So he consulted with Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh. He consulted Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, her father. Unfortunately, some people, when some dispute happens between them and their spouses, they never visit the whole other family. The Prophet ﷺ that kept his relationship with her father, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anh. And he consulted with Umar ibn Khattab. He listened to all of them, and he was waiting until a revelation from Almighty Allah sent down the innocence of his wife, Aisha radiallahu. It was a very good example of how that when you are from the very beginning, you build up strong relationship with your spouse, not only as an individual, with the whole family of your wife. It's very important, with her father, with her mother, with her brother and sister. So this would help you understand the whole family, and would help you, if something happens, you may find the solution from her father, or from her mother, or from her brother or sister. So building strong relationship and having good relationship with your spouse and the family.
So this is like a benefit for the future. Even if you build strong relations and you come across a problem or a challenge, you may discuss it with them.
Yes.
And this takes us back to some different episodes that we've already discussed. Number one, building trust.
Building trust.
And number two, mashura, which means that I consult.
Consultation. You consult all the time.
The family members, yes.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes the consultation, maybe people don't know, the best consultation with your enemy. You consult your enemy if your enemy is willing to be open up, and that's what happens in politics, by the way.
Right.
In a way,
what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Yes.
You consult with them, and they would give you an advice, and you would know how they think, and you can find a way to deal with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem is, if you don't have another question, I would say that the problem is failing to maintain this relationship. Marital life is not the honeymoon. Marital life is a long life with ebbs and flows and with ups and downs and with many problems that may happen because nobody knows the future and nobody can expect what happens tomorrow, next day. And we are people who change. I myself.
So this is an advice for those who are getting married soon and to set their expectations.
Yeah. And every time you have an opportunity to strengthen the relationship, do it. Don't just live on the previous relationship. That yes, I had a very good, strong relationship with my wife within the honeymoon. Yes, you did, but you don't know what happened after that. Many things happened after that. So all the time, keep an eye on your relationship with your family members. Yes, particularly, of course, your spouse. So whenever you have an opportunity of strengthening the relationship between you and your spouse, you take it and use it. Something that helps you achieve this when you all the time build strong relationship with her family members, like her brothers and her sisters and her parents, because this, for the future, if you have a problem with her, now you have many channels. You can go to her brother, you can go to her father, you can go to her mother and solve the problem. And the more channels you have, the more possible that you are going to solve the problem that arose between the two of you.
So, and I think also him having this happening with her family members actually is a point that has strengthened the relation between him and her, because she will respect him more, she will love him more.
Yes, yes. Because this all the time prepares you for the difficult times that may happen at any time. So we should be very flexible in our relationship. We should not be very limited to our spouses only, because this closes all the channels of solving the problems.
Right. All right. So we're going to take a shorter break, and then we come back to continue talking about how to strengthen our family relationships and cultivate it. Our dear audience, we'll take a very short break, and then we come back. Stay with us. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Welcome back, our dear audience. After the break, I'm still joined by Dr. Mamdouh Nuruddin, speaking about cultivating family relationships as part of Prophet Muhammad's life, alayhi salatu wasalam. So, Dr. Mamdouh, the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, as I can see from the chapter, he is a prime example that a leader is incomplete without strong family relations. How does the family serve as the leader's source of inspiration and comfort? I mean, what should leaders do?
Regarding this issue, I would like to focus on this advice, which is quality time. You spend quality time with your family members.
How quality time is different from any time?
Yes, it's quality. The word quality is different. It's not about the quantity, but it's about the quality. When you sit with the family members and you discuss a topic, you try to involve all of them. You speak to them. You can show your love and respect and your kindness to your children and to your wife, and in this way the relationship grows and grows and grows. As we know that the Prophet ﷺ, he was used to sit among few people or few VIP people, or few dignitaries from different cultures, sitting with them, talking about a very important topic. And when his daughter Fatima radiallahu anha came, right, he stood up for her to receive her. This is what I meant, something very important, and this leaves an impression on her, that he loves her so much, and he showed this to all the dignitaries, which may sound very strange at that time. And he used to kiss his kids and his grandchildren in front of the other people, to the degree that one of the companions commented on this by saying that we don't do this to our children. Yeah. We don't kiss our children, we don't do this. And this, of course, the Bedouin style. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said that, I mean, what's my mistake, what's my error, what did I do wrong? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took mercy from your heart. Now, showing that mercy should be there and should be expressed to the other people, particularly the family members. So here, the attention of the Prophet ﷺ was spending quality time with your family members,
right.
Laughing with them, joking with them, commenting, first of all, responding to their needs and doing all these things. This is the quality time that I'm referring to.
I've got a question at this point.
Yes, please.
You know, nowadays the economic crisis is almost affecting every place in the world. Some leaders in the family have to work. I mean, they have to work more hours. Technologies have made things look different. Nowadays, you may find some parents are checking on their kids using the smartphones, smart iPads or tablets. I mean, what is your advice for these people? Because I know some people who may not see their kids for days because of work, for example. But on the other side, I want also to say that I'm giving them a good reason for what they're doing. Like, I don't know how to balance this. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
There are two different issues, but let me talk about it. When you talked about the crisis that's happening, the economic crisis, and in fact, if you talk about leaders particularly, they are in a financial situation that is not so aggravated, is not so grave and dangerous for them. But what happens, most of the people think that, for example, we should change our car every 2 years. Why should you? Why should you? Why do you put yourself in this situation? What's wrong with having a car that stays with you for 5 years or 10 years? But the cultural issues, when you live in a culture and you become part of the culture, or in other words, you become a slave of the culture.
So you mean if there is no need of
there's no necessity, at least.
Yeah. It wouldn't make a huge difference.
You can do. Why would you spend more time every day, as we read together, Bertrand Russell commenting about this, staying long times working and seeing that there is no way except spending your time on your job. Your job is not everything in your life. You need to enjoy life and you need to give the rights to all the members of the family.
Right.
So we need to change our perspective as the Prophet ﷺ is trying to show us. So spending quality time with your family member is something very important. It's not just time. You are sitting at home, you are reading a newspaper, she is reading a magazine, somebody else is doing something. No, you have to be with them. I remember what Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, when he said that the way you raise your kids, for example, he mentioned there are 3 steps. One step is the first 7 years, he said that you play with your children. See the text, what he said. He didn't say that, don't let your children play for the 7 years. He said, no, play with them. Because this kind of playing would help you to communicate with them. So the purpose of quality time is to improve communication, strong communication with your family members. So when you build up this relation, it helps you, both of you, to solve problems, the future problems that may rise.
That may have like some sort of this economic crisis or okay. So I mean, from the very beginning, if the relation is strong enough, it will already solve this.
And this will never be built up correctly unless you have quality time with them.
We cannot have a good leader at work and a bad leader at home, right?
You can, because there are other elements here. There's a wife that is not at work. There are children who don't work with you. You can have good leaders there, but usually this is not the case.
What I mean is, can one person be a good leader at work and a bad leader at home and vice versa?
If we apply this to the Prophet ﷺ, this doesn't apply at all.
No.
He was good at home, he was good at his work, he was good at with his friends, he was good.
Exactly. That's why I asked. I feel like if this person is doing a good performance, they're having a good performance at work, then most probably or most likely they are very good at home.
Yes, most likely. Yes, most likely. But remember that we are not like the Prophet ﷺ.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
We're just trying to
Yes.
imitate him, of course.
Even among the other prophets, we used to see some bad relationship between a husband and a wife.
Right.
So which is shows us even this high caliber of human beings still they can have some problem. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now since we are speaking about the family, I want to move a little bit closer to the kids. I know we spoke about them, but I want to have them on table. Now, me as a leader, while teaching the kids to be future leaders, how can I be a role model for them?
Absolutely. A role model, people usually say the role model. The first role model for them is the parents, the father and the mother. Now they are the first contact. So they see that. If they see the father is drinking wine at home, almost definitely that they will be drinking wine. If they see their father is praying at home, if they see their father talking over the phone with someone in a very gentle way, in a right way, and they notice that the father does not lie. He said, I was not there at home yesterday, and his children have seen him spending all the time at home yesterday. So they can see these discrepancies are the most dangerous things. What we need to be role models. So one of the things that we have to achieve is to make this connection between the beliefs and the actions or the deeds. So what we say should match what we do. If the children see this, they will become like their parents. And
So
all of
I
us know, say the statements that say like father, like son, right? And the same thing like mother, like daughter. Yeah.
So what you stressed on is seeing them,
seeing
not
and
telling, not just telling
Not
them.
even telling, because you cannot, as a role model, you cannot impose things on people and do as I do. You cannot say that. But people see you doing things consistently, and this is a key word here, they start imitating you consistently. Yeah.
Right.
So I said that in the family we can learn a lot of things, and from the families a society is composed. So if your children see you spending most of your time when you stay at home with the computer or with your iPhone and responding to all the calls that come to you, they will definitely imitate you, which is something very negative.
All right. So getting back to the husband-wife relation, now, what is your advice for the wife? I mean, how can she, as a leader for her kids and as a leader and a role model as well for her husband, because we were mentioning before in a previous episode that the wife could be the person who's monitoring the husband and is trying to help him to move forward in the right track.
When we talked about the wives are a source of inspiration and comfort, we should all the time stress this point, and the Prophet ﷺ stressed this point, that he likes his wife to beautify themselves, to use a makeup and to be ready for receiving him. This kind of you feel that you are someone who is important. When you come home and you find your wife is ready for you by beautifying herself, right? By using the makeup, by dressing the way that you like her to dress. All these are some sources of positive entertainment between the two. And the same thing we have heard the companions saying that I like to beautify myself for my wife as I like my wife to beautify herself for me. Now, which is something, it's double way, it's two-way interaction. It's not one way all the time. You expect the wife to do this, at the same time you don't do it. And a lot of people in the Middle East, a lot of males in the Middle East, they don't pay attention to themselves. They just want to see their wives are doing this, and they forget that their wives are human beings and social human beings, and they need their husbands to be in the best shape and the best way they can.
Right, okay. So, Dr. Mamdouh, here comes the end of our episode. Thank you so much for being with us today. We hope, inshallah, all of us and all our audience will follow the Sunnah of Muhammad alayhi
Inshallah.
salatu wassalam.
And we at the same time thank all the people and the technicians and the people who work with us in the studio, because they do a very good job.
Truly, I'd like to second that and thank all the whole team, the great team working behind the cameras with us here. Our dear audience, that was the last thing, and inshallah very soon we see you in our next episode. Stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.